You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Stand up, sit down, featuring in-depth discussion and interviews with stand-up comedians on the art of stand-up comedy. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, Stand Up, Sit Down.
How you guys doing? Welcome to another exciting edition of Stand Up's Sit Down. This is Nick, your host, and I am joined by the hilarious T'Shaun Barrett. Now, you guys have probably seen this guy on all over your TV, on ABC, on NBC's, on cable, he's in a couple movies. Like, this guy is definitely the next big thing, and so we're definitely gonna have some fun and find out, what makes T'Shaun tick. Welcome, T'Shaun.
Yo, what up, what up, what up, Nick? Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me. It's just an honor to be here, man. This is wonderful. Yeah. Black Hollywood Live.
It's exciting, right?
Yeah, black folks live in Hollywood. We up in this piece. Everything in here ain't black, though. We got some white things in here, too, so that means that, it's some money involved in this.
Yeah. You can't have everything black.
Hilarious that we're working on it.
That's what you say, just make it sound like we're working on that.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you.
Right.
So let's just jump right into it. So how long have you been doing stand-up?
Ah, man, that's a great question. I never actually timed it. I jumped into stand-up on accident. I didn't even know I was like funny. I just thought I was like class clown. Thought I was just a silly dude. And I was an actor first. So then when I got out of here and started doing, the acting stuff, it started popping for me. Some people that already made it was like, yo, man, you should try stand-up too. I was like, nah, not me. And then I got on stage at the Comedy Store one night.
There you go.
Just playing around, A lot of my friends in the audience, I was like, man, let me get up here. I was tipsy. I was feeling good. I was like, even if I don't do good, I'm drunk. I'm still going to feel good. So I got up and I did it, and it worked. I was like, yo, this is hot. So I never actually knew what date that was and what year it was because I was drunk. So I can't tell you how long it's been. I would say, I guess, about 4 or 5 years if I had to guess. Yeah, about 5 years.
So that first show, you just freestyled the entire thing. Like, it was no set.
Yeah, I just got up there and was just talking, and it was like, oh, this is funny, right? This works. So then I had to try and write a set. Didn't even know how to write comedy. I just started writing stuff I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And then I went up and did it again at the Comedy Store, and it worked again. Okay. And then I went and did it in front of some white folks, and it didn't work. And I was like, wait a minute, I thought I was funny. What's going on? White people don't think I'm funny? So then I stopped doing comedy in front of all black people for a minute. I said, okay, I'm funny to black people. I got to make the white folks laugh because this is a universal world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then I started going and just doing all white rooms and adjusting my jokes to make them laugh.
Gotcha.
And then it worked. And then I started getting booked on white TV shows, and black folks never heard of the show. It's like, wait a minute, now I got to go back to the black people.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing, because I know, whether you do black rooms or white rooms, I think it is nice to have that crossover appeal.
I love it. Yeah.
And because, because there's a lot of comedians that kind of get pigeonholed in just that, like, black chitlin circuit.
You're right. And that's what I didn't want to happen to me.
Exactly.
And I'm glad I did that because, everybody laughs. And everybody needs to laugh. So whether you black, white, or whatever, man, we all humans. So that's why I'm glad I was able to get into both and make both races laugh. Not both races, but all races laugh. Because it's not just blacks and whites, it's everybody.
Yeah, that's good. So you said that you're acting first.
Yeah, I was acting first.
So like, is that what you wanted to do as a young kid? You wanted to grow up and be like the next Will Smith, or?
Actually, nah, I didn't know what I wanted to do as a kid, man. I was just, I didn't know. I didn't know if I wanted to be a lawyer, doctor, police officer. I just didn't know until I was like the age of 15. I was suspended from school for being a class clown.
Oh, sorry.
And my father's a pastor, so I had to clean up. So I had to clean his church up.
Okay.
Like, he was like, if you're not going to go to school, you got to come and clean up the church. I'm like, man, I'm not a janitor, but okay, cool. So he was producing a play at the time that was going up at the Regal Theatre. And the Regal in Chicago is like the Apollo in New York.
Okay.
And so they were having rehearsals at the church while I was cleaning up.
Yeah.
And one of the guys was late for the rehearsal. And one of the director was like, yo, can that guy with the broom come over here and read this line? And my dad was like, my son, he's not no actor, but yeah, come on over. I'm like, well, all right, what am I doing? So at the time, I never read a script or anything, so I didn't know what I was doing. And I just started making up what I thought the character should be. I was adding lines, adding my own words. And then the dude who came late. It was time for him to take over, and they told him to sit down and wait.
Wow.
And I'm like, what's going on? So I kept doing it. So at the end of rehearsal, they was like, yo, we want you to do it. I was like, nah, I'm not going to take his job like that. And I was 15. So he's like, well, it's paying like $250 a night. We're doing 7 nights a week. Tell him he can go home. Let's do this, baby.
Wow.
So I still didn't think, that's what I wanted to do. I'm like, I'm just doing this for the money. I'm a kid. I'm about to get paid.
Yeah.
And then we went up the first night of the show at the Regal Theatre. It was sold out, about 1,500 people. We do the show, and then at the end, when they called my name, I came out to give my bow. The crowd went crazy.
Wow.
Somebody brought me some flowers up to the stage. I was like, whoa, this is what I want to do in my life. And I just started doing theater ever since then for about 3 or 4 years. And then I got tired of theater. I was like, that's not what I want to do. And then some dude came and saw me and wanted to put me in an independent film. So I did that, and I was like, okay, there it is. I still have the love for acting, but it's on camera now and not the stage.
Yeah.
And then I had to figure out a way to get to California because it was expensive to come out here.
Well, yeah, especially from Chicago, from
Chicago.
the cold, windy city.
Man, it was crazy. And my father, he was very supportive.
Yeah.
But when I told him I wanted to take the move to come out here, I'm like, yo, Daddy, man, I can do this. I want to go to L.A. He was like, you good. But
LA good.
Yeah, I don't know if you're LA good. I can't fund you to go all the way to LA. He's like, I can pay for you to do stuff around here, theaters, But I started an entertainment company at that point.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, man, we was throwing parties and concerts because I was determined to get here.
Yeah.
And I raised a lot of money and bought me a Pontiac Grand Prix.
There you go.
Got a friend of mine was like, let's go. She thought I was playing. She was like, where we going? I said, we're going to LA, baby. Let's do this. She was like, yeah, okay, whatever. We got in the car and kept driving. About 14 hours later, she was like, you serious? We really going? I was like, you thought I was playing?
So you basically kidnapped her, is basically what happened.
No.
Yeah, get in the car. We were going to LA.
Nah, she came, on her own. That was her own willing. But, yeah, that's how I got here, man. So when I got here, started grinding and hitting the pavement and started working. Doors started opening.
So is it safe to say that your career, acting-wise and stand-up-wise, kind of happened like in an accident?
I would say I thought it was an accident at first, but now I know it was designed.
It was what you're supposed to do.
It was what I was supposed to do. And it was like I wasn't seeing it. So it was like God was like, yo, I'm going to make you see it. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you get suspended for school for being talented, but you think it's because you just silly. And, it kind of guided me to do it. It's like, whoa, okay, this is a God-given gift.
But now, what did you say in school that was so funny that got you suspended? That's what I want to know.
Can I curse on the air?
You can curse a little bit,
Okay, because when I was a kid, man, my mom told me that curse words weren't curse words unless you actually use it to curse someone. If you use it bad, like if you're telling somebody, hey, and you're angry. She said, but if you're using it in a fun way, it's not a bad word. She said it's the only word. I was like, for real? She was like, yeah. I said, get the fuck out of here.
To your mother.
To my mom.
You said to your mother.
Yeah, she laughed. She's like, okay, don't say too many. So I was in school, and the teacher asked a question. It was like, anybody know the answer to number 7? I said, yeah, motherfucker, I do.
Wow.
And the class, and the teacher's like, what did you just say? I said, yeah, motherfucker, I do. She's like, okay, go to the principal office. I go to the principal office. She was like, you cursed in class? I said, shit, yeah.
So you were just on the roll. Like once you started, you were just on a roll. Couldn't stop for nothing.
My mom didn't tell me don't do it at school. She just said, as long as it's not bad. I was like, yeah, I curse. I'm having fun.
Wow.
She's like, okay, we got to suspend you and talk to your parents about this.
But did anyone laugh in the class though?
The
or
whole
was
class laughed. They was like, did they just say, yeah, motherfucker? He called the teacher a motherfucker? So I always had the class laughing though. I was always like, do silly stuff, man. I had them rolling.
Yeah, because I couldn't just cuss like that in class.
I couldn't either. Until my mom gave me permission.
Your mom gave you the green light.
Yeah,
And you say,
hey, motherfuckers, black folks' favorite cuss word. So
yeah. So
that's the first one that came out.
And you have to really use it. When you use it, you can't just be light with it. You gotta really use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're out in LA.
Yeah, I'm out in LA.
And so because you came out here, did you have a plan when you came out here, or you just like, I'm coming out here, we're gonna figure it out when we get here?
No plan. All I knew was I was talented, and I was like, the plan's gonna form itself.
So what was the first thing you did when you got out here to LA?
The first thing I did, or the first thing I booked?
Or like, what was the first, like when you like crossed into California into like to LA? What was the first thing you did?
I stopped at a gas station, and I washed up in the bathroom because the drive was a long ass drive.
Was it a nonstop drive, or did you stop along the way?
I stopped for a minute. I slept for about 45 minutes.
Wow.
Then hopped right back on the road, and it was crazy too because we actually almost ran out of gas. Like I was at a half tank, and I was like, okay, I'll just wait till the next gas station, not knowing the next gas station wasn't for about another 4 hours.
Wow.
So I'm rolling. I'm like, there's no gas in the car, and it's a 2-lane highway. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. No other cars coming. And my homegirl that was with me was scared. She's like, "What are we gonna do?" I'm like, I don't know. She's like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" I said, "We're gonna run out of gas. That's what we're gonna do." So then this car, saw a car coming behind us, and I like sat in the middle of the freeway. I wouldn't let him go around me to the point where he was like, "Yo, what's this dude doing?"
Yeah.
So I had her wave him down. He put on sides. I told her what was happening. And he's like, "What are you gonna do? You want me to take you to get some gas, come back?" I was like, "No, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pray, and then I'm gonna follow you. And if I run out of gas, then let us get in the car with you. But I believe by faith, we're going to make it to the gas station." Man, when I tell you, we drove for about another 45 minutes. I mean, on empty. The needle was so far down, it was laying on my lap.
Wow.
That's how far fast it was on the empty line. I was like, yo, and we made it to the gas station. And they was like, yo, it's a miracle. We've never seen nothing like that before.
Yeah.
It was a car full of college kids, and we was like,
And the car didn't blow up or anything, and nothing.
why would the car blow up with
Well,
no
I mean,
gas?
no, because you got no gas in there. Stuff gets in the engine.
Right,
So a lot of things can happen.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm no mechanic. I'm just
I
trying
see.
to make a terrible situation. That's all.
So the car didn't blow up? No.
Trying to make a scary movie. That's all.
I know,
That's all.
right? It was scary though, being in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we made it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
that was the first thing I did when I got. I washed up and get in the gas station and went and just got on Hollywood Boulevard and parked and walked down the Hollywood Walk of Fame and trying to figure out where I was gonna put my star a few years from there. Yeah.
Okay. And then, so what was the first thing that you booked when you got out here?
First thing I booked. That's a good question. It was an independent film. I think it was. I forgot the name of it. Actually, yeah, I forgot the name of it. That was the first thing I put. It was some independent film. But then I had my first big thing I booked was Barbershop 2.
Okay.
And
And with Ice Cube and
Ice
then
Cube,
Cedric the Entertainer.
everybody. And it was crazy because I had to fly back to Chicago to audition for it because it was in Chicago. I'm like, wait a minute, I left Chicago. I got to go back. I was like, what? And it was crazy. That casting director, Sharon King, shout out to Sharon King, who cast me in that movie. She actually didn't want to give me a chance at first because she said my headshot was too model type back then. I had twisties in my hair. You know what I'm saying?
Doing the most.
I was doing all right.
Taking pictures, trying to look cute, right?
But then she had heard that I was pretty good, so she's like, all right, we're going to call him in. And when I went in, man, I went in for prepared for 4 characters. They was auditioning 4 different characters. So when I came in, she's like, who you reading for? I said, I'm reading for everybody. She's like, you can't read for everybody. I said, yo, that's how prepared I am. I'm really serious about what I'm doing. You can pick whatever character you want me to do, and I want to do that one. So she let me read for 2 characters, and then I got hired for the Nappy Cuts customer for the new barbershop. So that was a blessing, man.
Yeah. So now on the set, because you did independent films, so now this is like a big budget, with stars and lots of people walking around, stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was that like? And because you were in Chicago, when you're filming it, so you went back to your hometown. Now you're filming a movie after you barely made it out here to LA. So what was that feeling like? Back there in Chicago, working on a major motion picture.
Man, it was almost like it was a dream. You really didn't feel like it was real, like it was happening. I was amazed that it was happening. I was grateful. And I was like, yo, is this real? I pinch myself, like, yo, let me wake up, man. You know what I'm saying? But, it was just it was an awesome feeling, man. And it's like you felt like you achieved something that you worked so hard for, and now you're seeing it happen, and it's happening in your hometown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I had to wait for like a week and a half too for them finally to call me. Like I was sitting on my father's porch every day on the Southside of Chicago, watching all of the, you know, we grew up like in the hood kind of, so watching these people ride past and game magazines on the corner. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not even supposed to be here no more.
Yeah.
I need to be in LA, but I'm like, I can't leave. And I just kept praying every day, like, God, please, man, let them call me and say yeah. And I got that phone call, man. I cried. I was like, yo, it's on.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Like, that's,
Yeah,
you know,
man.
especially it's like when it's the first one. It's kind of like that's the tipping point to really kind of, you know, get things going. So after this movie, you come back out to LA, or did you just stay in Chicago for a little while longer?
I stayed for a minute, you know, and then I came back.
Okay.
I came to LA.
And then so you started hitting the stages, or?
Nah, I still wasn't doing stand-up yet. I don't think. No, I wasn't doing stand-up yet. So then I started, I kept auditioning, you know, because it didn't really, like, pop me like that. But,
Yeah.
you know, I still was grinding, kept doing independent
You have a nice
film.
credit now.
Got a nice credit now.
Yeah.
Then the premiere came.
That's always fun.
That was fun. It was fun, and it was a little embarrassing because everybody didn't know who I was in the movie, and they hadn't seen the movie yet. And my part wasn't that big, so you know the reporters and stuff didn't, you know, they really know me. So
Like, who is this guy?
So I'm standing on the red carpet, and the camera dudes, you know, trying to take pictures. But I thought they was telling me to move over so I can get in the right frame. He kept doing like this, and I was like, all right, cool, right here. He's like, and I was like, oh, right here? He's like, nah, get out the way. Ice Cube is coming. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. My bad, man. I thought you knew who I was. So they moved me right on out the way. I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. And not yet. It's not time for me yet. Okay, I'm just going to walk on in. If y'all need me, I'll be inside.
See, B7, that's me.
Right.
I'm B7.
Well, nobody listening. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude.
See, or you could have hopped in a couple pictures with Ice Cube, and then
Yeah, so he could have pushed me too, like, who the hell? But nah, I didn't do that. I went inside. But, you know. And then what was cool, though, because Will Smith was at the premiere.
okay,
And he actually came up to me
okay.
and told me that I did a good job. And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
what? You noticed me? He's like, yeah, man, keep doing your thing, dog. I saw you did a good job.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, forget that cameraman. Will Smith know who I am.
There you go. Just gave you that validation.
Yeah, gave me that validation, baby. So yeah, man, that was my experience with that.
That's you know a real big thing because you know he's an iconic character.
Yeah.
You know, and so especially for you know because you said your part wasn't as big as you would like it to be.
Right.
Right. But you know he picked you out. He's like, yeah, this
Right.
guy.
And then it really
This guy has
like
some chops.
it really helped me because even though the part wasn't as big, they actually still cut it down some more from what I knew that we had actually filmed. You know, so I'm sitting there watching like, oh man, nobody gonna notice me now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm like, man, if somebody take their nacho and they dip it in some cheese, they gonna miss me. I was like, yo. And then for Will to come and say, I saw you, I was like, you must not have been eating nachos, huh?
Yeah.
How'd you see me?
Came back from the bathroom. Was there he is. That's great. Okay,
Right.
there you go.
So, but you know, that was real cool, man. So that was the first, you know.
So now out of you know the movies and TV that you know, what would you say is probably your favorite? Like, what has been your absolute favorite project that you've worked on?
That's a great question. That's a great question, man. I couldn't say one was the favorite. I can say one is what really gave me a lot of fame as far as people recognizing me was the McDonald's commercial. So I would say that my three favorites was Barbershop 2 because it was the first, then the McDonald's commercial because it was played so much all day, every day, everywhere. Everybody saw it.
And that was a national commercial too. Right?
National commercial. That people was calling me from out the country like, yo, man, you on the McDonald's commercial out here with a jackhammer. I was like, what are you doing out in France? What are you doing? And then Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
So I would say all three. Barbershop was my favorite from movies. McDonald's was my favorite from
the
commercials. And Grey's Anatomy was my favorite from TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with the McDonald's commercial. It was the one with the jackhammer.
I'm not.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all
Because
good.
there's a lot of McDonald's commercials.
Hey, man, I know.
With a lot of brothers.
I know.
But I will go and look it up on YouTube now. And we're like, there he is, there he is.
Yeah, but, you know.
Yeah, no. So and like you said, so Grey's Anatomy kind of gave you that crossover appeal. So now white folks is looking at you.
Yeah.
Right. And so because like we're talking about comedy wise, is that it is hard to kind of play to both audiences when you're kind of trained. Because I know as being a black comedian, we automatically get labeled as a black comic.
Right.
So how would you say you're able to break out of that stereotype, out of that box, and really,
How was I able to break out of the box?
Yeah.
By understanding other cultures.
Okay.
You have to go and watch and listen. And then when you understand them, it's not that what you understand is that we're all the same.
Yeah.
It's just that black people have slang that white people just don't understand.
Yeah.
They just use a different word and it still has the same meaning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're able to see it, it's like, okay, instead of me saying, for instance, give me a slang word that black folks use.
It's taking way too long right now.
I haven't done Black Room so long, I forgot all the slang.
Tight. That's an old tight. Remember
Yeah,
tight?
like that's tight.
That's tight.
Yeah,
It's
man, that's
There you
tight.
go. Yeah.
Right. So for instance, if I do a Black Room and I'm talking about my homie, he's like, yeah, man, my homie came up to me. He's like, yo, man, that outfit tight, man. That's tight. We all understand what it means.
Yeah.
So then when I get to the punchline, we laugh, we get it.
Yeah.
But if you go in the white room and you say, hey, man, that's tight. My homie's like, that's tight. And then you go to the punchline, they like, we don't get it.
Yeah.
So then what you have to do is just fix that a little bit. Just say, hey, my homie came up to me. He's like, yo, that's tight. Y'all know what tight means? And to tell them. Tight means not tight as in it's too tight, but tight as in it's fly.
Yeah.
Like, that's tight. That's nice. And then now in their mind, they're like, oh. And then you keep going with the joke the same way you would tell it in the black room, and now it works.
Yeah.
Now they get it because they just didn't understand the slang.
Yeah,
and I
so
think that's what a lot of black comics do. They forget that you have to take the slang out. You have to, or not even take it out, just explain it just a little bit, just so they can understand it.
And like what I've found too is that even that explanation, that's funny.
Yeah.
Like just that breakdown, like, okay, hold on, let me explain for the white folk, and then you go into the explanation that gets laughs.
Right.
Too,
Yeah, you're right. And that used to happen to me too. They start laughing when I'm explaining tight, and I'm like, why are they laughing? But that's why, because it was funny. And then you're not saying it like, I'm explaining this for you guys. That's not how you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're just really just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this, because I believe that everyone writes their jokes differently. So because you said when you first started, like, you didn't know how to write jokes.
Right.
So how has your joke writing kind of evolved into like what it is now? What do you do now?
Well, before I would just, like I said, just go up, wing it, whatever, let it write itself, try and figure out how to write it. But now I actually, my life actually happens in joke format. Like,
That's weird.
it's
It's a little weird.
yo, it's crazy. Like, and then I would just retell it like it happened, and then just tune it up just a little bit, or take something out, or put something here. But it really writes itself.
Okay.
Like, you know.
So you don't physically write jokes, or
Yeah, I write it, but I'm writing what happened.
Okay.
Like, for instance, when you start doing stuff on TV, girls that didn't like you in the past start liking you in the future. And there's this one girl in particular that started liking me, and I never wanted her to like me. And I didn't want her to like me because she's my half sister.
Oh yeah, that's a little weird.
Right.
Yeah.
But she,
half sister by marriage, or like no, that's half sister is like
She's
blood.
my father's
she's like,
daughter from his first wife. But I understood it because her mind, she used to be a crackhead. and so her mind is now always tight. And she stopped smoking, started selling, went to jail, did like 8 years.
Wow.
So when she finally got out, I went to Chicago to visit, and she approached me. We at the bar with family. She approached. She was like, "Hey, how you doing? Good looking." I'm like, I'm good. She's like, "Yeah, you was looking all good and stuff on TV when I was in prison. Now you looking good in real life." I'm like, whoa. You're not supposed to be this close to me. She's like, "Why not?" I'm like, because you're my sister. She's talking about, who told you that? Daddy? I'm like, yeah, daddy.
Wow.
Our daddy. Now back up, nasty.
Wow.
So you see what I'm saying? So that joke right there, it actually happened. My sister was actually on me like that.
Yeah.
So the only part I had to form was the setup, which is why it's funny. The reason why it's funny is because she used to be on crack, but she's not on it no more. You know, so it sets it up to why her mind would think like that.
Why she thinks it's okay.
Right, why she thinks it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's not okay.
It's
You know
that
what I'm
crack
saying?
residue.
Right.
That's all it
crack
is.
residue.
It's just a little that crack. I'm clean, but I'm not all the way clean. You know, when you wash a glass and you still got a little.
Yeah,
that's that.
clean, but not all the way clean.
It's that crack residue that's
That
still
crack
in there.
residue.
So
And then she always thought too, like, I'm sorry, I mean, cut you off.
No,
but
go ahead.
When we were sitting around the house, she would always talk to us like in prison terminology, like we understood it and stuff. Like, you know, in jail, there's the guy who opens the door when it's time for you to eat, who opens the cell. They call him turnkey. So she asked us questions like, "What time is turnkey coming home?" I'm like, turnkey? You mean daddy? She's like, "Yeah, turnkey. What time chow gonna be ready?" Chow? You mean lunch?
that's terrible.
Like, yeah, let's meet in the cafeteria.
The kitchen?
You mean the kitchen?
That's terrible.
Yeah.
See, that's what 8 years. You know, that's
a long time. But she cool, man. I love her, man. She cool now. She one of my number one fans. If she hear this, she gonna
sure
call
she
me
is.
like, "Yeah, how much money you got for me?" I'm like, none.
That's funny. Now, you know, okay, because I know there's been a lot of debate, especially right now with like the social media and stuff like that. And so, you know, you have a lot of these internet comedians, right? Because you are a traditional stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about these people who are just online making jokes versus the people who actually, you know, go on stage and tell the jokes in front of an audience and, you know, like there's no delete button?
Hey, man, you know, to me, there's no love is love. I love everybody. So if they can make people laugh on the internet and people like it, then so be it, man. You know, I'll turn my nose up against them. Like, you know, I'm like, yo, I want to get on the internet too. Let me get some of these hits, because I see what you're saying. I saw some dude, he wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what is this? Somebody told me to watch it. And I was like, all right. So we sitting there watching it. Everybody around me laughing. I'm like, all he's doing is like, I don't even remember what he's doing. He's just being silly. Like, I'm like, that's not a joke. There's nothing there. But he had like 3 million hits. I was like, hey, I like what he's doing.
There's
You know
something
There's
there.
something there. If just
I don't
'cause
see
I don't
it.
see it,
Yeah.
but it's working.
Yeah.
So I don't put them down, man. I say more power to them. Keep doing it. Shit, it's working. As long as it works.
Now, because you've worked with some, you know, famous comedians, what would you say was probably the best advice, and who did you get it from?
Ooh. That's deep.
That's a great question, right?
That's a great question.
We could come back to it if you want to. So just we'll put a pin in that one, and we'll definitely come back to that one.
Yeah. I mean, because it's not just one.
Okay.
I've gotten advice from several different people. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know.
Well, I mean, if you could, you know, spill some of that knowledge on, you know, to our viewers and everything, that would be, unless it's like personal. So
Nah, it's not personal.
it's for you.
I just never been the type of person like to say who said what, or you know what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you don't have to say the person's name.
Well, I
if
can
you
say what
want.
they said. Though.
Yeah, you can
The
say what they said.
Number one advice I had from this dude, and he knows who he is, but he told me, he said, no matter what, people always, I'm sure, heard this. We said never give up. That's one. Never give up. I heard that from somebody, and when he said that, it was like he really meant it.
Yeah.
He's like, if you keep going, you will succeed if you never give up.
It's true.
Most people who don't make it,
Quit.
they quit.
Yeah.
Well, how can you make it if you quit?
You can't.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
And another one said, when preparation meets opportunity. So that means always be prepared.
Yeah.
So when opportunity comes,
You're already ready.
you're already ready.
Yeah.
So I stay prepared.
That's
Stay
good.
working out, stay in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. See, so all of you listening at home right now, you can definitely write that down. Go back, rewind that, write that down.
Yeah, write that down.
Yeah, no, it's that's you know, like I'm gonna use that
Yeah.
in my everyday life now.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You know what's another one too? I don't know. I don't even know if I should make a joke about this. I had a whole thing I was gonna do about this one, and some of my advisors was like, "Don't make no joke about this." But
You just go ahead and make a joke about it.
Okay, you know how you always see on the internet these different people who made it always say they don't sleep. We don't sleep. Don't sleep.
Yeah.
Whatever you don't sleep. I'm not gonna make a joke about it. I'm just gonna say I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sleep. You know, it's impossible. You gotta sleep, right?
Yeah, no, you. I mean, you don't want to die,
Right.
so yeah. I think it's just the level of sleep, though. Because like there's some people who
there's
just
some
who
people
love
say
sleep.
they don't sleep. They don't sleep. I
sleep.
saw one dude on the camera. He was being interviewed, and he was like, "I don't sleep. No matter what, I don't sleep." And then cut back, he had just woken up on the private jet. He was like, "Hell, yeah, man. No sleep. We can't get no sleep, baby. That's how we do it." I'm like, "They just got you waking up. Did he not think the camera was rolling?" Hell yeah, man.
I was resting my eyes. I wasn't sleeping. I was resting my eyes.
I think he thought that they was like, "Yo, get up," and then he woke up and he thought that
They weren't filming
weren't
already.
Filming already. So
Yeah.
then he's like, "Okay, now I'm ready. Don't sleep. Whatever you do, don't sleep." Like, we just caught you snoring about 3 seconds ago, dog.
That's funny.
So,
Now, every comedian goes through it.
what?
What was your worst show?
Oh man, that's my worst show.
Mm-hmm.
This dude went up. It was at the Comedy Union.
Oh,
This dude went up on stage before me, and he was talking about boo-boo and hemorrhoids and all kind of stuff.
yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, "Yo, man, this dude, what is he doing?"
Yeah.
Like, "Yo, y'all get him off." So the crowd was just like, whatever. So then I go up after him like nothing happened. I'm like, "Yo, what up, what up, what up? Give it up for all the comics y'all seen so far. We're about to..." And I go into my jokes, and nobody was laughing. They sitting looking at me like this. And I'm like, what's happening? I didn't understand it because it never happened to me before. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening right now? So I kept trying to go on another joke. Nothing. Another joke. Nothing. So finally, after about the third or fourth joke, I was like, "You know what? I'm not going to waste y'all time or my time. I'm out of here." And that's when that was the first laugh I got. They laughed at that.
Wow.
And then I went to one of my homies and was like, "Yo, what happened, man?" Somebody, a veteran in the game. And he explained it. He said, "What happened before you?" And I told him. He said, "That's what happened." He said, "You can never go on stage and not address what just happened.
Yeah.
You can't go up there and say, 'Give it up for the comedian you just seen.' So that means you agree with what he just did.
Yeah.
So now you just as offensive as he was because you're validating what he did." And I was like, "Oh." Next time I went up at the Comedy Store, this dude was doing the same thing. Oh man, he was so terrible. I mean, I never call comedians terrible. But this dude was terrible to what he was doing to the audience. That was terrible.
Okay.
Not calling him terrible. His act was terrible. I don't do that to
He's a great person.
He's a great person. I don't do that to comedians though. But he made the audience mad at him. So then I went up. They called me up. I wasn't even supposed to go up for like 2 more people. And they was like, no, you next. I was like, "Man, for real? Y'all do this to me? Okay, all right." But I knew, I said, now's my chance to fix it.
Yeah.
And I got up, and the first thing I said, the people looking at me like this. I said, "Look, let us all take a moment of silence for the last dude just left here, because he just killed himself." Crowd went crazy. I just tried it. They started laughing. I said, "Hey, man, I didn't know if y'all was narcoleptic or what. It looked like y'all was falling asleep in this joint." And I just kept going, kept going off of what he had did to make them understand that I didn't agree what he did to them either.
Yeah.
And it was funny. They laughed. And then I transitioned into my set, and my set worked. So I was like, "Oh, that's how you fix that situation." Yeah. He was mad, though, after the show. He wanted to fight me.
Well, that happens. I mean,
you shouldn't have did all that, man. You can't get funny off me. I'm like, "No, I'm funny without you. I actually just helped you." So
you just have to be you're a victim of circumstance. That's all.
Right.
So hecklers, has it happened yet? If it hasn't, are you ready for it?
Man, I love hecklers because I'm quick. Like, they don't understand. What the hecklers don't understand is, before I was a comedian, I was just always silly. I was always funny. Always bagging with people. So, and my act before I actually wrote a set was always improv. So I would go on stage and just talk about whatever happened that day or whatever's happening in the audience, ask a question and hit back and forth. So when a heckler jump in on me, they actually apologize, like, because I don't play. I'm not afraid of no hecklers. Some comedians are afraid of hecklers.
Some
like,
are. Yeah.
I hate hecklers. It threw me off my set. Nah, I sit my set to the side.
Yeah.
And I go in like, "What you just say, fool?" I go in hard. So
Yeah, and that's the because like I think that because this is your job, like, this is what you do, So it's like someone doesn't respect you enough to let you finish what you do, then it's like I'm going to go in on you,
Right.
And then like you're not gonna like it, but you
At
put
all.
yourself in that situation, And I'm funny, you're not as funny as me, and your girlfriend may leave with me tonight. That's all. That just may happen, But
your girlfriend may leave me tonight.
your girlfriend just may, she just may happen to be like, I thought you was funny. Well, he's
Right.
funny,
Right.
And then, because I've seen that happen. I've seen like a heckler lose his girlfriend at a show, and she left with a comedian.
That was me. You was there. It's happened to me several times now. But yeah, that man, comedy is something, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now, what is your favorite venue to perform at? Because I know you performed all over, So what is probably your absolute favorite venue to perform at?
My absolute favorite venue is the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
The Laugh Factory.
But now let me ask you this, because I know there's a Laugh Factory in Chicago.
Yeah.
So like, is that one a little? Because I haven't been to that one yet.
I haven't been to that one yet either.
Okay.
I plan on going, but they got the Laugh Factory in Chicago. Then they got the one in Hollywood, one in
Long Beach.
Yeah, both of those are incredible. But the one in Hollywood,
Yeah.
it's something about that Laugh Factory, man. In Hollywood, it's just it's like to me, it's like stand-up comedy home. Like that's the home.
Yeah.
It's not the first comedy club, I'm sure. I don't think, but I don't know, man. Like when you hit that stage, it's like everything in the room is designed for comedy.
Yeah.
The audience, the walls,
Yeah.
the lights,
Yeah.
the stage, the mic, everything. It's just you feel at home. Like, yo, this is a comedy club, and
Yeah.
here go these jokes, and the crowd is like, this is a comedy club, and here go these laughs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Laugh Factory, man. I see why it's called the Laugh Factory.
Yeah,
I love that place.
That's where they're made. Yeah, well, and I feel like that's a more friendlier room, or it's a more friendlier environment than like the Comedy Store, and because I've been at both places, and like you said, like Laugh Factory, like it's more nurturing for a comedian versus the comedy, because the Comedy Store is dark, it's black, and it's like it's very,
Well, the Comedy Store?
yeah.
Yeah. I love the Comedy Store too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know why it's so dark.
It's,
like
yeah, it's just it's a different vibe. It's haunted. It's a different vibe. It's weird. It's
haunted.
just So no, that's Now,
yeah, I feel you.
what is your ultimate goal as a comedian? Like, where do you want? Like, what is your because Kevin Hart just sold out Madison Square Garden, and he sold out Staples Center out here. So he's selling out arenas. So what is your ultimate goal as a stand-up comedian?
Well, he done set a little plateau. Like you have to shoot for what he doing if you gonna do stand up. You can't just be like, my ultimate goal is to perform at Venice Beach. No, you want to do arenas. So let's go. Let's do these arenas.
There you go.
That's the goal for stand up.
Yeah.
But
And so now
acting
acting wise,
is my first love though. So,
Okay.
And I'm equally balanced on both.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of the shows that I've been on, they're not comedies. Well, So Notorious with Tori Spelling, that was a comedy. I did comedy. But Grey's Anatomy, it's nothing funny
it's a
about
drama,
Grey's Anatomy. And I brought that drama. You know what I'm saying? Numbers, Without a Trace, Medium, all of those shows are straight.
dramatic.
Yeah. So my goal is to do both, man. Do the main arenas, stand up wise, and film.
And then, is there anyone that you want to work with film wise that you haven't worked with yet that you're like, oh my god, I have to work with so and so?
Yeah, I want to work with Denzel, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Will, since Will remember me, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Will, you know what I'm saying? Remember me? Barbershop too?
There you go. Just make a call to Overbrook. But hey, next picture. Go ahead.
I know, right? Yeah. But I want to work with all black actors and white actors, man. I want to work with Adam Sandler. I want to work with George Clooney too. I think that'd be hot, man. George Clooney.
Yeah.
Yeah. White sexy, black sexy. Let's
you
get it.
Now, last question before we wrap up.
All right.
What is your, or this is a two-part question. What
A
one
Tupac question?
two-part question.
Tupac. That's how you know I love Tupac. Tupac, one of the reasons why I'm here.
Tupac is?
Man, when I was a shorty, Tupac said, I was like, man, I want to kick it with Tupac. I want to kick it. How can I kick it with Tupac? And Tupac was like, in one of his lyrics, he said, get rich and then we'll kick it. I was like, he talking to me. If I get rich, I can kick it with him. And then I was like, I'm going to LA. I started getting my money together, and then he died. I was like, man. But then I got out here, I still came though. I was like, I still was motivated to come. But he actually helped motivate me. Like, I'm serious. Like, I was like, man, I'm about to get it on so I can kick it with Tupac, baby. Go to LA, be doing movies with Tupac. It's on.
Do poetic justice too.
I know, right? With Tupac, poetic justice too. With Tupac.
Exactly. So this last question, two-part question. What is probably your favorite stand-up special that you've seen, period? That you're like, oh my God, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Man, that's not fair.
All you get is one. All you get is one. And then the second part of that question is, who do you want to see do stand-up that either isn't currently doing it because they either passed away or they just stopped doing it for whatever? Like, who would you want to see one more time do one more special?
Even if they've passed away?
Yeah, just if Richard Pryor was still alive, like, oh my God, I want to see Richard Pryor do one more special.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Richard Pryor would be your guy.
Richard Pryor would be the guy I would want to see do a special, of course. Yeah.
And then your favorite stand-up special that you've seen, you're like, this is it.
Richard Pryor, live on the Sunset Strip. But he's had several of them. That's what I said. That's not fair. Like,
I know, but that's why you got to pick one.
I pick Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip.
There you go. Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah.
But not Eddie Murphy Raw?
Eddie Murphy Raw. That's what you said one. If I get a few, Eddie Murphy Raw, Martin Lawrence, You So Crazy, Jamie Foxx, I Might Need Security. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The list goes on if I get a few of them. But if I got to pick one, it's Richard Pryor. Like, we all came after Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you,
man,
T'Shaun.
Thank you, man.
Now, where can your fans find you online and stuff?
Yeah, you can find me T'Shaun Barrett, .com. You can find me T'Shaun Barrett, Twitter, T'Shaun Barrett, Facebook, Instagram. Everything is T'Shaun Barrett. You can find me online.
Perfect. And then is any shows coming up in the near future?
Next Thursday, me and Brandon T. Jackson at the John Lovers Theater. Next Wednesday, R&B Live right in Hollywood. I'm hosting it. It's going to be bananas.
There you go. Thank you, bro.
Hey, thank you, man.
And I'm Nick Perdue. You can find me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue.
Hey, everybody remember Kleo. Keep loving each other.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network. From producers Maria Menounos, the views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.